All right. Hey, guys. Hey, James. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you. We're just kind of popping into Facebook and look there. We're popping into Facebook and YouTube. And we really didn't schedule the meeting. We just thought, well, let's just go live and kind of carry our content because we're going to be doing more podcasts. And so this is the way we're going to do it. We're just going to go live and record them if we don't have a special guest. And you can either watch it now or listen to it later. And so that's just kind of the format we're going to go with today. So if you join us, great. If not, you can catch it later. So anyway, James, it's the beginning of the year and we're going to have another podcast today. And so I want to talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to do a topic today is going to be about adding more tools to your shop, to your workshop. Even if that's a small, room and you've just got one tool, like just adding some few features.
Or jig.
Yeah, or jig. We're going to talk about that, and we're also going to give a giveaway away today. We've had a lot of people that have asked us, can we buy some cedar from your land? And we're going to start giving away some of this stuff. So if you can see that, James is holding up a piece of, it's 24 inches long, and what do you think that is? About 16 at the shorter and about maybe 18 at the longest.
Makes a great sign. We get a lot of requests to buy these for people who want to make signs, and we can't really, we don't have the capacity for that, frankly, but we thought we'd just give away a couple pieces.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're going to give that away today, and we're also going to give away some CNC bits from Phantom. Phantom generously sent us over a whole bunch of bits. Like we could probably
cool
have
headphones.
about 10 of them and a swag bag. So we're going to give y'all a link to go apply there. And if you have a CNC, you'll get some bits. And if not, you're going to get a nice piece of cedar and some other swag.
Enter to win.
Yeah, enter to win.
Yeah.
So while we move along, I'll drop along the form so you can go sign up there. Anyway, what's been going on with us? We really haven't had a whole lot of really good podcasts as far as shop stuff, just because the new year started. We were recovering from the holiday.
Shop was a mess.
Shop was a mess. We're trying to get a better setup. I hope you like it a little bit better. We're going to, the next one, pan around and show some. But anyway, we've been cleaning it up. We put in some stairs. I know y'all had heard me talk about that. Trying to get more organized, cleaned up, and just more effective and efficient in our organization of how we're running things. So we're trying to, it might be a little bit messy right now, but hopefully we'll have it looking better and the presentation style will be a little better. It kind of feels like we're news people, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I hope y'all enjoy this. But so what's been going on with you, James? You got a new tool that's really, it's kind of like you're running it now.
Yeah, you can see it behind you, the Phantom 4x4. It's the SCV 44 model. It's definitely a hoss. Was a process, picking it out, selecting it, and we'll get into, as we get into it, I'll talk about the experience, setting it up, the relationship with Phantom, why we decided to go with them initially, and then the great relationship that we formed with them, getting to know them, great family kind of owned business or run business, and they really cater towards a small business, which is what we want to do. We want to help small businesses out, and that's their mission.
Right. And we are not necessarily really new to a CNC. We had one. We bought one, 3 years ago? I bought a Shapeoko XXL. And like many people, it just kind of sat there. I maybe put 3 hours on it. Ironically, it's underneath this table and our feet are resting on it.
Yeah.
So maybe one day that'll be a giveaway.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Anyway, so we had a little bit of exposure, but I think for me, I was running the lasers and I just didn't have the capacity to learn, another dimension of all the bit selections and all that. And so one of the reasons that we got a CNC is because we felt that we needed to add more diversity into our product offerings. And we wanted to not just be engraving blanks we were buying. We wanted to really use the wood that we had on our land and start making our own things. And so we just said, hey, that's probably something we should invest in this year and add to the shop. We knew it would be somewhat of a stretch from a capacity wise because, we're just so busy. You work full time and I'm already running the business. It would be more time for you to learn and get up to speed. So that was kind of the rationale there. We wanted to make our own things that we weren't seeing. We also wanted to leverage the cedar that we have on our land. Most of you know that we live on our property and we've got about 30 acres that's fully wooded, so of just trees. 74 on the land, but about 30 of it is cedar trees, and so they're just coming out the yin yang. So that was kind of one of the reasons that we thought we need to control our own supply chain. So we decided to get it. Tell them a little about the process you went through on selection of which CNC.
Sure. Initially we kind of wrote down our use cases. You and I discussed what we wanted to get out of the machine, why we were buying it. And we knew that we needed a production ready machine. I knew that I didn't want to really build one from scratch. This wasn't so much a hobby as it was, I needed to really get a return on investment, or we need to get a return on investment on the machine. So I wanted something that was turnkey. The other thing is, I mean, for you experienced CNCers, this will probably sound funny, but there was, I don't know that it was intimidation, but there was a lack of commitment on the time. I think initially I didn't want to spend 100 hours to get up to speed on it. And I know you have to learn by doing, and you have to break bits, and you have to make products and all that. I understand that, but I didn't want, really what was in my mind was I didn't want to make a project out of buying the machine, setting it up, outfitting it. And when I started looking at all these different machines, it was like, first of all, you would look at the price and the functionality of the machine and say, oh, that's not bad. And you would add it to the list. But then when you started to see what you had to add on to it, it jacked the price up, maybe doubled the price in some cases. This machine is a 4x4, so it's 4x4 feet. It comes with some things other machines don't come with, like the hold down rollers.
The vacuum table?
I've got a vacuum table on it, correct. And there was nothing extra to buy on it other than the vacuum pump itself.
So it's kind of like was it the Kia model where it's like you can go look online and that's the price you're going to get? There's a whole lot of upsell.
I'd say it's more like the Lexus or the Acura model. You know, you have 2 or 3 options to choose from. I mean, there's a larger, there's a 4x8, there's a 5x10. They make custom size tables. But for us, this is about the max size I think we needed. We'll probably regret it and end up buying a 4x8 knowing us. But we definitely wanted something that was stable, accurate, production ready, that we could run really hard, because we tend to run our equipment really hard. We get these orders of, they're not huge orders, but they might be 150, 200 units, and we need to be able to just crank them out.
Yeah.
So the other thing for me that was big was the support after sales. And I called Phantom 3 times just to ask questions. They never tried to sell me anything. They didn't even ask me what my name was or how to get a hold of me again, which I was amazed. But they kept asking questions like, what did I want to get out of the machine? And they wanted to make sure, they want to make sure that if they sell you a machine, you're going to use it and it's worthwhile. They're not going to sell a hobbyist machine to, they're going to sell one of these high-end machines to a hobbyist, because
you bring up a good point there, because I hear a lot in the community, people will say, well, why do I have to call Thunder or Phantom or so-and-so to talk to them? I just like to click online and add to cart. Just because of what you just said, they want to make sure that you're getting the right tool for your needs.
Yes. And they will sell to a hobbyist, but the point is usually a hobbyist doesn't need this level of machine. And it's built for a certain purpose. The other thing that I liked is that I flat out asked them, what do I need to do to get up on this machine and be running products in a week or two? And so they told me what training to take. They told me what software to use. Yeah. They told me, I asked them, I ordered the bits from them, because I wanted everything in one package, and it all came in one package. The vacuum pump came, the videos on how to install it. I had 2 or 3 questions, and I tend to be pretty detail oriented. So I had a lot of detailed questions for them. And, I was a little concerned they might get annoyed with me calling them. I called them 3 times and emailed them 4 or 5 times, but they responded back immediately. I talked to Brandon, the lead tech there, and, Mike, the ops manager, and then we can get into this later if you want, but I actually talked to the owner of the company, and that's how we got the relationship going.
So let's talk a little bit about how we're using the CNC. So as most of you know, we've got a decent amount of lasers in the shop that we can kind of move around and do different things with, but we really wanted to make our own blanks. One of the things that we were doing is we were cutting some of the items with our laser, like the buffalo. We'll show you a picture of that. I was able to cut almost a 3/4 or an inch of size, but we really wanted to get a lot thicker. So that was really what started driving this. And so you got it. It took you about 2 or 3 weeks to really start?
Well, we were making products within a week. I think
Yeah.
we made this the first week. So we made
Yeah.
this for Valentine's Day. And then this doesn't have the leather in it, but you added the leather, you know,
Correct.
so that was kind of a cool, unique thing, I think.
But from you who you know, you're brand new to CNC, right? I mean, it wasn't like laser.
Yeah, I'm pretty much
jumping over.
novice. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say it was easy, hard? Like, what were some learnings there? Because some of these people are laser people, and they may be thinking, "Hey, that may be something I need to do." How hard was it, or how much of a challenge do you think they might have?
I maybe overthought it. I tend to study things a lot as an engineer, and then I want to act. So I wanted to feel like I was, you know, had some level of competency, and I should have, you know, really should make it more like an experiment. I mean, you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to waste money, that kind of thing, obviously. But if you play with it and experiment with it, you know, so the software was somewhat new to me. The hardware was new, setting the machine up. There's a lot to go through. I wouldn't say it was hard. There was a week of, you know, asking questions, reading some stuff online,
So
studying.
did you go through like a training guide? Is that what happens?
Well, when I called Phantom, I said, I want you to tell me what you recommend, because you're the expert in this. I'm not. And they said, you know, use VCarve, you know, use Vectric Pro, use, they suggested Learn My CNC.
Okay, so that's what you were doing the videos.
I watched the videos on all that. I don't know. It's great training. I don't know that I should have gone through all that to begin with, but I took all and I think that's the expert level training. So I took all that, and it was, I forgot how many hours it is. It's a couple hundred hours of training. So, you know, there's some things you can get, like Vectric has some training videos that you can follow along on projects and stuff with. But I wouldn't say it was hard per se. It wasn't very deep. It was just wide, because we had to set the machine. We had to get the machine. You know, we had to figure out what we wanted, order it, get it, set it up, you know, assemble it. Configuration's really not that much. It comes configured. I mean, it comes with a controller. Yeah. There's videos online on how to run the equipment. They even have videos on how to set the wasteboard up, and how to set the electrical up, and how to set the vacuums up. So that was very helpful. I just followed that.
Let's dive into some things that you're making here. So show us some examples, and try to start from like, this is what I started with. This was the first thing. Like,
yeah, I think the first real thing we did was probably this guy for Valentine's Day. And then you put some leather in it. We can put some pictures on it. This one doesn't have the leather on it, but I made, what we like to do is make the blanks and then have them ready for you to customize, right? Yeah. You get a custom order on Etsy, or we get a B2B order. Well, they're already sitting on the shelf. So having the machine here, we can make them ourselves. We can also prototype things and then send them to someone else to make. We could send them the file now if they have, you know, Vectric, and then we can send them the actual product and say, make this. And then they don't have to send stuff back and forth. It makes it a lot quicker. But yeah, I made this to answer your question. Then I think we wanted to start selling some shapes, because we've got, you know, we've got this, you know, we got a ton of cedar on our property. As you said, we have a sawmill and a kiln. So we get orders for custom shapes like this. So you can't cut out anything this thick on that.
Now this
laser.
would be, I mean, this would probably, this is what, 1.5 inches?
Yeah.
Yeah. You would really probably be maxed out on that. I mean,
and it leaves the char. Sometimes you want the char, sometimes you don't. In this case, you don't want the char.
So how long did something like that take to cut out? And
it was less than 10 minutes. I mean, we would get, that was a funny aside. We would get comments about, hey, you can run faster, whatever. We viewed it as an experiment. We wanted to start up. I think I was running a 1/4 inch down cut bit. I should have been running a compression bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch. It would have put off less sawdust. I mean, these are just learning things. So we did that. Then I think we wanted to experiment with the 3D engrave. So we did this next. This was kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
This was pretty cool. So
that was fun. And let me ask you a question. So I'm going to put my hat on. I'm a laser person who's new to this. Can you just take like an SVG or a vector and you bring it into VCarve and then you model it? Or do you have to do what is...
Well, this was a 3D.
Okay.
This is a 3D that comes with Vectric. And when you buy the software for like I forgot what the amount is, so don't quote me on this. Maybe $50, you could buy a whole nother set. And like I knew we'd like the Western stuff.
Okay.
And so I bought that. It comes with it, but there's ways to convert the file over. We'll probably eventually go to the Aspire, which has some advanced 3D modeling in it, which I'd like to have, but that's another $1,200. I think they let you upgrade to it. So we'll probably do that. But
in general, let's say I want to cut out that buffalo.
Yeah.
Would I bring in a SVG file, a PDF, a JPEG?
I think we had a STL for that. I think we had a 3D model for that. Or maybe I made it in Vectric. I can't even remember. That was like a month ago, probably. So
it's not something that's complicated.
No, I mean, I can do it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
That wasn't too bad. There are plenty of really good videos out there. And if people want to see things for some reason, they don't see them and we do them, we'd be happy to do a video. I kind of decline to do videos that are already out there. It's just a waste of everybody's time, right?
Yeah. We're not here to say that we're CNC experts.
No,
the whole
we're not.
intent is we are adding another tool to our custom, engraving, craft, woodworking business. And this is just another smart tool. So we're more of integrators of tools,
yes,
right? And functionality.
And providing solutions,
sure.
not to cut you off, but providing solutions to our businesses. I don't, maybe I'm kind of guarded with my customers, but I don't want to give them an excuse to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they need something or want something. We don't have the awards out here, but we do awards for some nonprofits, and I do those by hand with the table saw and the router table.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can do them on there, which will be great. I'll have more precision. They'll be quicker. I like to set the machine up and work in the shop while it's running. Once I'm comfortable with the file, obviously, you know, if I've run it before and I'm confident with it. Now, of course, I'll be here to turn it off if I need to.
Let's talk about this one that you just did yesterday. And how hard was it to get that going? And do you have to design all that, or do you buy box templates, or how does this work?
No, I think there were some videos on out there how to do boxes, but like there's offsets, and this lip is something, and to make it tight like this, where you hear that kind of pop, and it's on there solid. I experimented with it, and I ran a couple, and I finally got smart and started running them with pine, which is what most people do, just run them with construction grade lumber and get the dimensions down. And you and I went back and forth. We have different size boxes around here, but we made smaller ones, and you wanted them a little bigger, remember? And so what I ended up doing is I ended up batching like all these bottoms. I do them all at once because I do them out of the same size, same thickness of wood. Then I do the top separate now. And there are some designs where the top and the bottom are the same size, so you don't have to change around. But it's easy once you get it going.
So I think that the main intent of this podcast is to talk about what you're looking at right here, which is we took the CNC, we made something that we didn't have before, or frankly that we hadn't. You can get these boxes from made from Acacia, from China, or some other places, but we hadn't seen any that were cedar that were all in one, that carved out like this. You didn't, not like put together and jigged together, and then made the box and then engraved it and set it with leather. And now we've got it ready to go as a new product that, frankly, there's not one exactly like this on Etsy or somewhere else, right? So we're trying to differentiate ourselves by being creative, taking a combination of our tools, right? I think we used the CNC, obviously. We used the UV laser for engrave. I used the Odin to cut the leather. And so that's 3 different tools right there. And then obviously we're using, a planer and some other things. But the whole point that we're trying to make you think is maybe look at what you're making as, and if you add another tool, it could be something small, could be, a small, leather press or something tiny, and a sewing machine. It just brings more capability to your business and gives you more products that you can offer. And it perfects your talent stack, right? We won't go into deep of what that is, but that's being able to have multiple skills in many areas to make yourself a little bit more different. And that's really the main point that we kind of wanted to show. We wanted to give a little bit of an update of where we are with learning with this, and how our, experience has been, how it's really opened up. We've added 3 new products to our product line.
Well, we have some other trays, and
but just in the last month of saying that we're running,
we had another 2 or 3. We had the cigar trays and the vanity or the
Valet.
valets. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't show like we did the triangle one for the nonprofit with their, and that's the other thing. So you can take these products to your customers and it's a new offering for them, right? And then it gives you a good reason to go back to your customer, engage your customer, offer them additional products. It doesn't cost you much to make these, so you just give them away. And if you give away 10 and you get 2 orders, then your margins are still great. And you have to run your own numbers, but, so there's different ways to do that. And the other thing that's nice is I can use the scrap wood. Remember, you always get on me about getting rid of all the scrap wood.
I know y'all have kind of raked me over the coals online for burning some of the stuff that I do. I probably won't be doing that, burning those anymore, so James can practice on them.
Okay. Make stuff.
Yeah, practice. That's true. Yeah. Well, yeah. So any other thing that, you're wanting to do next on a CNC that maybe just to kind of put out there where you're thinking you're going to go next? Yeah,
I think we need to get into the awards more because, as I said, we're making those by hand now. I'd like to start making some furniture and Adirondack chairs. There's some cool things we can do there because we've got we've got the wood on our property. We also have the rollers are off now, but because of the rollers on here, they put 600 pounds of pressure down and it keeps the plywood flat, so we can cut plywood out a lot easier. So I'll probably do some plywood products. There's a cool making box jig that comes with Vectric Pro, so I'd like to play with that. And then a lot of things I want to do: the artwork, inlays.
And for me, I'm looking at it from a laser person on the side going, I need some product like this so I can engrave. So I'm thinking for me, what some of the things I already sell, but maybe customizing them from what I've been buying, right? If I'm buying a valet tray that's wood and it's kind of limited, what if I, expanded here or added this and made another dish here or, just something like that. So I'm looking at it from a product in customer. What if I could change this up? What would that look like? And then I'm thinking, well, what if I added leather to that and then I engrave it, right? And that's the mindset that we kind of are trying to get you to think of, so that you can push yourself to be growing in your business, to add, some really unique things that maybe your neighbor next door with a laser is not doing.
Yeah, you've got to innovate because if it's on Etsy, it's going to be hard to compete with it. They're going to drive the price down. The other thing is if somebody else comes along and they offer products you don't offer and your customer appreciates them, well, guess what? They're going to start ordering from them. And then next thing you know, you might end up, not having that customer anymore. And that's not a good thing. You want to grow your business, obviously.
All right. Well, listen, we're going to wrap it up. We like to keep these to about anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes and give people their time back. But I want to thank our show sponsors today. That's Thunder Laser USA, Rotoboss Rotary Attachments. We just got a new talent in, and that's really been nice in the shop. Phantom CNC, Odie's Oil, and Lone Star Adhesive. So those are all great products that we back because we use them all in our shop. And if you need more information about that, you can check out our page and you can find that. So we want to say thank you today, James, and sharing your experience. And we will see you in the Laser Lounge on Facebook, or we also have our own new page now. It's called, and let me get that for you, PateLaserLounge.com. So thank you guys, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.